So this is my 1980 Harley Davidson FXS 80. What I want to do today is I want to take the line that goes from the petcock to the carburetor and replace it with a new hose and put an inline filter on the hose as well. I bought this gas tank off of Facebook Marketplace. It was rusted out. I cleaned it with vinegar and baking soda, pressure washed it, prepped the metal, and relined the tank. But sometimes I still get worried that there could be debris in the tank, which may come from the petcock and clog up my carburetor. There is a little filter though inside the petcock, but I don't think it will protect the carburetor from trash getting into it like it should. The first thing I did was loosen the screw for the hose clamp, and I'm going to pull the line from the petcock off of the bike and place my hose clamp on the ground so I know where it's at. The next step on this project is I have another hose clamp, and it's on the bottom of my S&S Super E carburetor. I'm going to loosen this hose clamp, and I'm going to pull this hose off of the carburetor. So here, as you can see, I removed the two hose clamps and the fuel line that I was using. I went to Advanced Auto Parts and I bought a new fuel line, some new hose clamps. I kind of feel like these ones look a little better than the ones that I put on it previously. And then I bought a fuel filter. So for this project, I bought some 1/4-inch fuel line, and I'm gonna set my first piece to make sure it fits good up here. It's snug on the petcock, and it does fit on there well. So what I plan to do next is I'm gonna use these new hose clamps, and I plan to secure the hose to the petcock with one of these clamps. I decided I was going to actually switch from a screwdriver to a socket wrench. With a 7mm socket to work with these hose clamps, because it would be a little easier and faster. So now what I want to do is I want to hook this inline fuel filter up. So the way that I hook this inline fuel filter up is really important because it's got an arrow right here. This arrow is the way that the fuel must travel through the fuel line. So this part of the fuel line is going to go down because it's got to travel from the tank down to the inline fuel filter. So what I did here off the camera is I cut this line, and what I want to do is I want to put this inline fuel filter on the line, and I want to add another part of the line at the other end to run it to the carburetor. So my next fuel line, I'm gonna hook to the bottom, up to the bottom of the carburetor. The reason why is because my carburetor the line actually swivels, it goes in. So it's going to make it easier for me to hook the gas line up to the carburetor, run it between the jugs, and then get the measurement that I need to hook the inline filter up to that gas line. Now that I got this line hooked up to the side of the carburetor, I want to get it up in here between the jugs and work it around and spin her around so I can actually have the room, if you can see right here, to get it to the inline fuel filter. So here's the fuel line that I installed. What I'm wanting to do now is to angle it down to where I can cut it, but I do need to leave this, because it's plastic, a little bit away from the jugs. I'm going to install that and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. So this is what the fuel filter looks like installed on my bike. I have a little bit of clearance. I want to keep this plastic fuel filter away from the head so it doesn't get hot and melt and cause a fire. I'm going to have to ride a little bit, see if I need to do anything extra to the fuel line. If you guys have any advice, I'm always willing to listen and learn new things.